This is my second time doing this. Hello, fellow humans. I think the problem is I was gonna do this collective like eight portal reading, right? Because I got a cool new deck that's not actually supposed to be a deck. It's like a game deck, and I wanted to combine like my spidey senses with some actual decks and like see what comes through with the story time. But that only got prompted after I was sitting here for like 2 hours trying to get my spike. I was gonna say psychic up, but I can't see. I can't be serious. I think it's all the Leo energy, but I am. I just want to laugh. Like I was just watching Ted. I feel very immature today, but my energy is up from the last time I made a video, guys. So maybe I just needed a couple days to only be in my energy, sort of a joyful bubble, right? Sometimes when I have to do a private reading, it requires me to be like, because it's shadow work and all this other stuff, and you're talking people through like the heaviest parts of their life and their purpose and all that stuff. When I'm here, I'm talking to a large group of you going through the same thing, and my hope is always that y'all like find each other in the comments and talk about, oh my goodness, me too, just to realize like we are all going through this stuff in hives. There's a pattern here. There is a purpose. There is a reason. So today's story time is going to be told through these cards. Now, as I was setting my tune for today's video, I came across Adamite, and my phone is charging, so I can't look up what it actually says. But in this video, it says, and this is on the Crystal Wave channel where they like sort of translate the frequencies of whatever crystal they feel important at the time. And it just sort of, it really works. You don't have to buy all the crystals. Just sit with the energy of it, and then like you become the crystal for a couple hours. If you sleep with something overnight, then you are more likely to retain that energy for like 24 hours or so. Magic builds on top of each other. So you can't do something 10 on the clock. You can't do something and expect, boom, just set. No, you got to recharge. You got to refill. You got to think of it like a phone, or even as your body as like an apparatus or your own altar. You got to keep fueling it with certain stuff to keep getting that result, to stay aligned with that result. So Adamite is meant to attract love, foster self-love, envelop you in a loving energy, unblock the energy knots, heal the heart chakra, and heal the throat, baby. Okay. So I am going to say my own little experimental thing. What story that brings about, since I'll be picking up energy from. Did I hit pause or something? I tried everything. Not an A. And then I found Lysol. It works. I keep fighting myself on if I want to get. What is it, YouTube Red? Because my mom has it. She's always like, she swears by it, all her playlists are on it and everything. But I'm like, do I need one more app? Do any of us need one more app? So, okay. Well, that's horrifying. Huh? Yeah, you can turn that light on. It melts out of the anime frequency. I guess it was a short one. It was only like 15, 15 minutes long, and I didn't realize it. I just clicked it. But the next thing that popped up was like this huge, like, what is it, Cthulhu thing? It was like ominous. And then it said, beat Yaldabaoth. And Yaldabaoth is like, the name is like the actual devil, like his ancient name. Like, no, why would y'all pull that up doing this? I can only imagine what would pop up in the cards. Yo, if you've been following this page for a while, and if you watch some of the other like reading videos I do for people, there's always like a concurrent story thing going on if you watch all my stuff and you're just along for the ride, like what? So let's get started. Didn't go back to the Adamite, whatever. I guess I took whatever charge that was supposed to be. That feels tricky. So this is a Crystal Harmony selenite lamp. Okay, so that's cleaning out the energy. It needs to clean out the energy after that last one. It's because she turned off the light. I already got the rest of the lights off. I'm already like looking like Casper because there's light on me. What a difference from what happens during the day in here, right? videos look completely different. Now I'm like, turn on the lights. All right, so let's see. Who is the main character in this story? So this story might resonate with you. It might be you. It might be for somebody you know. It might just be entertainment. There might be a moral or a fable or some sort of message in it that resonates with you. I'm not sure. I know I make these videos with the intention that they touch who they are meant to touch. So the character here is now every day when I get on this computer, I'm like, I'm not a fan of found footage horror films. I'm like, I'm not participating in creating a masterpiece or artwork that involves like some Freddy shit. That's what I feel like sometimes. Isn't that freaking weird? Like, remember in Freddy's Dead, the gag was they needed to bring him into this world in order to ever defeat him in the first place. In our world, the fourth wall is we go to church all the time. We talk about it. It's in movies. The cult is everywhere. Halloween's a whole thing. There's a he who we do not speak of, even though we know he's the Grinch, right? That's there all the time, but nobody actually pulls him here in a real way. Like, hey, so guys, this weird thing is happening to me because the card that was here was a healer, right? But when I pulled it up, I was like, not today, devil. That's just what I heard in my head. Like, I'm not finna like end up telling some creepy story and being like, what? Okay, because the next card is Exorcist. Let's see where this goes, guys. On this lovely 8-8 portal, right? I saw some other astrologers talking about there was no astrological significance to this. It actually, surprisingly, linked to like the unicorn constellation. Didn't even know it existed. Monteseros, right? So the first couple of degrees of Leo, the ones that are in August, actually are in the sign of Cancer. They're in the Cancer constellation, even though they say Leo. It's weird. But the degrees that they are in that constellation happen to be the unicorn one. So during this 8-8 portal, it's Lisa Frank energy, yeah, the 8-8 numerology speaking, right? Yeah, I knew I was gonna fuck that one up. It was like tripping. So is abundance. That's what 8 is all the time. So this is like double abundance. Plant some seeds, do something, hop through this hole, energetically speaking, this timeline opportunity for you to make more of yourself to align with a version of you that is more fruitful, right? This should not align with this, but let's see where it goes because technically, what I was getting is, and do I have to? I really got to do this. Wow. All right, let me pull up a screen so I can show y'all. I, dead ass, am always shocked and appalled when I get called into a lesson that I was not expecting was about to be taught. And y'all know this happens to me every now and then. I didn't even come back and get to finish that music video for y'all yet because I was so upset about how I got pulled into the charts showing that songs, movies, books, events, and stuff can be paired up with your natal chart that show events that are meant to happen in your chart by the conjunctions, right? Things that are similar to your storyline or blind spots in your own view, just based upon the fact that everything reflects different parts of us to us. So, since I can avoid it, fear is like Jeepers Creepers energy for these things. Did y'all realize like during the whole movie in Jeepers Creepers, and what's another good one? Even like Trolls, right? That the main thing they were all seeking was like the energy of beings that still had light, that still had joy in them. Okay, so this is y'all the bow of the energy that snuck into the TV that was like to defeat this. I was just trying to listen to some love energy. I was gonna do a nice little love reading, chill. Why it had to be this? Because when you try to go for the crown, when you try to cross that line and make it back to God, There's only one other thing at the finish line testing you. Jigsaw. Okay, so that's what this technically is. What's getting my attention right now is the lion head. It reminds me of this movie called Jupiter Ascending. And in Jupiter Ascending, right, there is this family that owns the galaxy pretty much, all the planets. And the Earth is owned by their mother or the mother figure, right? Who has allowed herself to die so that she can reincarnate as a human and live a life and not know that she's like the wife of God or whatever. Or that lion thing that calls itself God down here, the God of the material world, right? Kronos, all that same name. But the family line are called the Abrasics because they all are children of the demiurge, the original like bloodline, which aligns with the sign of Leo, the royalty. So technically, the royalty here come from, I'm trying to think constellation wise. This just took me somewhere astrologically. I feel like I'm being tested. Like, all right, so if we started off all, the cradle of life was a place called Lyra, right? As a constellation. That's where there were like the lion people. Like there was a movie or a variation of Beauty and the Beast back in the 80s that had a dude that had the lion face. And there was also a movie by Stephen King called The Sleepwalkers. I said Stephen Kong. That would have been crazy, right? So Vega is the cradle of our universe, the first constellation. It would be where the first royal family was or where the purest bloodline. Okay, I don't know anything about that, but I do know that I'm being guided to find out the location of this. So this was somewhere. Okay. It is located in Capricorn, guys. It did not just say. Hold on, now my screen is all glitchy. That's ugly. Mm, I have to redeem myself with the post. Hold on. I think it's the ad that's making it jump. Okay, so the Lyra constellation where we all started, which is where that lion serpent energy comes from, is from the seventh degree of Capricorn to the first degree of Aquarius. I have a feeling that one of you guys is going to be the thing that gives me the next clue or dot that I need on that, guys. On my birthday, this lady sent me a book. Well, she wanted to tell me about a book, but it was about this lady who kept like reincarnating over and over again. And as she's reincarnated, she always ends up with the same guy, but then she remembers this is the guy that kills her every life. And I'm like, well, that's freaking weird. Guys, I picked another book that like came out July 28th because I was looking for stuff that came out near my birthday because like I was saying a second ago, when I watched the movie Sinners, I realized, hold on, I need to make a chart for these movies because I can see what is triggering because I am bothered by this in some way, shape, or form. And I was able to see that it was like a whole bunch of stuff in my eighth house. So it's really helpful to look at charts of things that you were naturally drawn to. So I was looking for a book that came out near my birthday, like to give me a clue, because I feel like there's something pretty big that I'm missing, something that's really important that's like not here yet. But the book that I picked out was about a girl who kept reincarnating, and but she was constantly forced to marry or like supposed to marry uh the guy for the balance of the kingdom, but he was like crazy and they just ended up always going through variations of the same death, him killing her, her killing him. It's just a lot going on. But I'm like, that's really like trippy. Carry that with you too. And freaky as shit. The girl that sent me that book just sent me a message. I'm looking at it on the side of my screen. Hold on, I gotta show y'all right quick. Like it literally just popped, she popped up. because I went back to her inbox today to say, hey, that book you sent me, like I found another one that's like just like it. And it's sort of weird because like she just wrote me. She's literally writing me right now, guys. Okay. So back to who this story is about. A healer, an exorcist. What got me was the gossip, but it's more concerning. It's the person next to the ear for me. And then shapeshifter. If any of those attributes apply to you, stick around. Let's see. Very rarely am I completely alone in the house. So let's see what comes through when I have a completely clear channel. So the game my daughter got for me for my birthday is called In Dreams. And the cards all sort of look like, now I know, no coincidence, all sort of like Lisa Frank type AI scapes, right? And so they come with two variations of decks in them. One has the thing that you're meant to channel off of, right? And then I don't even think that they knew it was channeling based on what's said on the game. It's like, just use your imagination. Look at the details, right? The different beautiful pictures, and you can pick up stuff off of them the same way you can on a card. A card is a card. But these ones over here tell you about the event that is being seen in the dream, like what the climate of the event is. And then on the other side, different like questions. Everything it goes together though. Marionettes dance about you. Who or what is pulling the strings? I'm about to shuffle the cards. And let's go. So this is going to tell us the story. I'm going to pull a couple cards and see what I pull off of it. And then we'll close with the Chronicles of Destiny fortunate cards because they are also sort of novel based. I have been in a real writer mood lately, guys. Like maybe I need to start writing out something, but I have no idea what. I guess it couldn't hurt just to pull up like Google Word or something and see what comes out, right? Always open to expanding in new ways and doing different things. So let's see. What is the story that goes along with this energy? All right, I'm going to take two. All right. What is the tone of this event or story? Okay, and what are the questions connecting the dots? I guess that's the best way to say that. The ones I pull from the Chronicles of Destiny will be the like, how does this story end based on the current trajectory? Because we can't leave it open like that. So I got all shocked with the character cards. It was that healer thing. It's like eerie feeling. Sometimes I can feel when a message includes me too, and it like creeps me out. But all right. Healer, exorcist, gossip, shapeshifter. This is giving some Piscean energy. Absolutely. And that's coming from the shapeshifter and the gossip. But the gossip in this case, because of this picture, is giving me somebody who hear messages from outside of themselves. Right? That's probably connected to this exorcist thing. That's a part of this particular healer's skill set. So the cards that came out for the locations, right? They both have a 2 at the top and spiral. 2 is the number of balance. It is the number of building. I did a post on that this week, just like if, or a video, one or the other. I'll be doing a lot, y'all. So 2 is the number of building. When you see it, that's a Taurus degree, it's an Earth degree. It means you are starting to put pieces together. You are moving in the right direction towards the pearly gates. That's also the message when you start seeing spirals. So we got 2 spirals and 2 twos. We got some rainbow energy. Am I tripping, or do these feel like rainbow people? I'm not sure if it was this video or the other video that I just had to restart because this is my second take, right? But I was explaining, if you sit with videos from the crystal wave channel, you sort of become the crystal for a certain amount of time, depending on how long you sit in the energy, right? But these look like, let me move my hand so it goes the light way. Ah, focus. There we go. They sort of look like people walking in crystal form. And this one up here looks like this person's in flame. So between that and this one, I'm feeling an initiation. This is some Stonehenge group of people that walk their ass. Did y'all know Stonehenge actually used to be a ritual spot where they did porgans. They used the portals during rituals to bring in dragons. Now, we can't see the dragons anymore. They were here one time, probably when the first race was seeded. The first race that was seeded here, or the first group of humans that were created, were the Asiatic people. You can see they have a lot of dragons still through their culture, because at one point they were out there fighting for their lives against dragons, until this portal got closed around the time that Arthur was in charge, with Merlin and all that sort of stuff going. Yeah, that was real, guys. So the portal that allowed the dragons to come here is shut. So you can't, or you would not be able to see if in the 5D originally there were actual dragons around, like volcanoes would be going off, random forest fires, stuff like that, right? That stuff is happening because somebody is messing with the portal in some way, shape, or form. That is what I'm saying here. Using that area, using the energy of those areas for spells. So the event is a conflict, hopeful, and reminiscent. On the back of the 2 character cards, or the location cards, if you will, we got narrow escape, narrow path, narrow gate, narrow-minded. The second one that goes with the like Stonehenge thing, that was the information for this that has a library on the back. So I guess I should show that too. All right. Focus thing. There we go. It's somebody looking through a library on this one, and this goes with the initiation card. On this one, where it's actually like the Stonehenge thing going on here, it's curiosity, risk, progress, learning, intrigue. So part of this feels like a heads up for a particular healer. It could be like somebody's doing rituals with that dragon portal, because it's absolutely a conflict. And hold on, it says with this last deck, this is like the details of the questions connected to the event. A stranger honors you. How? What did you do to deserve this? Second one, you find a fortune teller's deck of cards and reveal the top card without thinking about it. What is the card? What does it mean for you? My mind just said a spade. What would a spade be in there? I guess different people read different cards different ways. But a spade, what does it mean for you? My mind was just like a card they didn't see coming. Something they didn't see coming. So maybe that's why this event is hopeful. Because it's something that's happened before. Like you're used to this going on, like, oh, whatever. And this time it's better because, like, a stranger honors you. This is all very ritually, y'all. Can I say that? Ritually, ritualistic? Okay. The last one, y'all. You happen upon a group performing a ceremony. Describe it. Will you observe, or do you wish to learn more? I cannot make this up. It's the very last one on there. This one is the first one I read, and this one is the one that made me feel like, hold on, somebody is like requesting somebody's presence, like summon them into a circle, doing rituals on them, trying to pull their energy into something. What's the spade? The card that nobody saw coming, the card that was not expected. I'm going back to Google, guys, because I'm getting thousands. Hold on. Batman. I can't use that for this, right? This was on my screen when I just came here. Thousands under evacuation orders after canyon fire explodes in California. It was just talking about how the release of dragons from people doing. All the bad stuff that's happening right now that people are believing are acts of God are not acts of God, guys. They are acts of black magic and people who are using the Goetia or the 72 demons of Solomon to bring forth entities. And what they do is they say, hey, go ahead and reap as many souls as you need. I want this, or I want to accomplish this thing for myself. Now, the problem is these people, I believe, or maybe they know and they're still stupid, right? Don't understand that this is the lifetime of Judgment Day. So any soul that has been caught in the between, any in ascended master, any ancient deities, all of that, and you can see this concept play out in the show American Gods, it's wonderful, is now in a human body in some way, shape, or form starting to remember themselves, right? So say, for instance, you've been doing rituals to call in Pele, and you've been forcing her to do volcanoes. What do you think would happen to you when the person who was embodying the energy of the volcano goddess pause. Hey, I'm recording, guys. My background will be changing again soon, guys. It's just a part of my life and having a Saturn in the fourth house, which is probably what some of this has to do with. But anyway, I was looking up with the spade and card. Is it cardomancy? I'm gonna tear this word up. Don't y'all judge me. It might be with a T. Okay. What does it mean? Intellect and challenges. Spades are linked to intellect, strategies, and critical thinking. Symbolizes life challenges, resilience to overcome them. Transformation pivotal moments. This can symbolize the destruction of the old to make way for the new, signifying the potential for positive change through challenging circumstances. While not inherent, dang, I'm not recording tonight. I'm just gonna wake up early tomorrow. This is horrible, guys. While not inherently, that's still not right, whatever, negative, the suit can sometimes indicate difficulties, conflicts, or endings. Associate spades with death or sadness. A card of misfortune, grief, ruin, and tragic endings. This card casts an ominous shadow across all the cards surrounding cards in the spread. All of this has been rather ominous since I started this, guys. So, a healer needs to know. Seeing Harry Potter invisible cloak shield wearing healer that has the ability to hear messages from both realms and to banish demons. In your chart, that is asteroid Hades. If you have the asteroid Hades next to any markers in your chart, you have the ability to banish entities. Where your Hades is at lets you know how best you would banish anything that might roll up on your star whisper in your ear. For instance, I have it in Gemini. It's hands, it's words, it's thoughts. I can picture a box around me. I know that was weird. I did that, but when I'm like locked in, it's really like you gotta build in your head like Minecraft. You're building in the astral, and it looks like you're just sitting here meditating in this world, but you are creating a whole thing that exists in a plane that's not here. That's why Leo energy, or the energy of imagination, and Piscean energy of delusion and understanding of the thinness between the veil, is an important set of gifts to have when you are somebody who is taking the healing journey through the lens of recognizing you are a spirit in a human body. Some people want to enjoy this and they want to be buried in the human experience. They do not want to know about any of this stuff. For them, they're like, this is forbidden. You're not allowed to know that. Some of us wanted to realize it while we were here so we could appreciate it in a certain way and help other people who are suffering from the human condition. Like if you realize that you are a conduit in some way, shape, or form for spiritual energy, you're allowed to use your energy to help heal other people who are stuck in that frame. So some people been doing a ceremony. This was just prompting me to dig into what are they doing at the ceremony, because a stranger is honoring you. And the spade, they are pulling about conflict, because conflict was in this card, but also in the spades thing I'm looking at back there. Conflict was here. They've been doing this for a while. So they're using the 8-8 portal for something. And the first thing my mind said was, something needs to be blocked. I was explaining to you guys, if you foresee an event coming to land, because when you see it in the dream world, you see it before it actually happens here, right? If you see an event coming to land and it's something that's like horrible, no, cancel that. Like mentally, like no, cancel it. Think of what could come into its place in between time. And in some cases, I have recognized that you will see it play out in the 3D or the news in some way, shape, or form if you purposefully directed it to something. I guess I can share my examples and stuff. I'll be keeping to myself. I'm like, this is some gnarly shit. But a show called The Lazarus Effect or something came out on Netflix this week. And I was like, that's what I'm talking about. On that show, this dude realizes he's going through parallel lives and the CIA noticed that he notices. So they're like, hey, you're one of those people that can help us with stuff. You can move things and events that are supposed to be horrible here on Earth around as a part of our agency. So I'm like, those people definitely know that these skills exist. So I started eating bad vibes one night. And I didn't know what it was, but I was uncomfortable. So 211 has his radio in 12, like conjunctus ascendant. That's my part. That's right. My lab does. Right? So he just puts on movies sometimes and he falls asleep. I know when he does that, it was never him in the first place. It's a message from me. Like I've noticed a pattern over the years. Like his radio, when you have your radio communicata asteroid, which is 11144, right? When you have that at the first degree, the 13th degree, the 25th degree, or in your first house, you are a direct radio transmitter for messages and stuff. Like you are getting this going on all the time. You don't even know that it's happening because you just pick up signals from everywhere, right? So he puts on this movie called Star of Echoes. I used to love this movie, one of my favorite movies. I had the DVD and I could watch it over and over again like a freak. So there's a part in here where I noticed, or what stood out to me, but there was a little girl who was a ghost, whatever the case was. She was trying to get her sister's attention. Long story short, y'all. But the parents go out. They call a babysitter in. The babysitter happens to be the sister of the ghost that's trying to get everybody's attention. But the girl recognizes this ghost, so she grabs up the kid she's babysitting and she takes her kid to her mom's job, which is at the train station. She runs off with the kid. It looks like she's kidnapping the kid just because she's trying to solve this mystery about her sister, whatever the case was. What got me was the kidnapping of the kid. Like my heart started beating fast. And I'm like, hold on, I've seen this movie a million times. I'm not sure why my heart would have this like reaction. So I started thinking about my littlest daughter, right? Because at this time she was staying with her dad. That's where she was going to school with all her friends and stuff for that year. Her dad is not 211, right? So after I come out that, because I ain't like that energy, taken is the thing on my screen. And I'm like, ain't no way. I come to YouTube and there's a tarot reading video in my recommended saying they are targeting your children because they can't hit you. And so immediately I go into prayer first because I'm freaking out because I understand. I just perceived a message that was beamed out that like the instruction was like to take one of my babies, right? That in itself was not enough. I was just praying, to say like, because they could fuck me up if I'm just seeing signs like that all the time. I think my baby gonna get kidnapped, right? My daughter calls me and she said, "Hey, mom," this is the next day. She's 11, by the way, when this happens, right? She's like, "I'm gonna go over to my friend's house this weekend." This is something she do sometimes. She would miss her weekend with me so she can hang out with her friend. The issue with this is the mom at the house works a lot. So sometimes she would call over a babysitter to watch them when my daughter was over there. When she said, "Hey, she's not going to be there this weekend, but she's going to have a babysitter," my mom was like, "That's all the sign I needed," because the whole premises of that was the babysitter is the one that ends up taking the child, right? So I'm like, okay, I can't like sit around with this feeling because there would be no limit. What would solve this situation? Like I felt like I was being Mr. Miyagi. You know how you're being taught by somebody and they're not telling you how to do it, and you feel like you're doing some stupid mindless activity, but it's actually teaching you something. For months, I had been doing like little exercises, looking at missing kids and stuff, and just moving stuff. So when it came to this, I was like, "Holy shit!" Like I felt like somebody was really like, "You better move it, push your pen," right? So I'm like, "Hold on. If there is somebody that is meant to kidnap, what is the purpose that they are kidnapping for? Who are they kidnapping for? Like, what is the content of it?" I would go back to the root and do something to intervene at a lower level or like a higher level. Like if this was about drugs, I'd say, "Hey, I wouldn't make sure I found the dealer who sold my kid weed. I would go to the person who was vending the weed to all the dealers in the first place to cut it off there to make sure it never even got close to my child if that had been the thing I was trying to thwart." In this case, I was like, I would go back to the root of who was commissioning for children in the first place, who had put out something to say, "Hey, I need two little girls," or whatever the case may be. I waited 3 days, right? I didn't know how long it was going to take, but I just know when you put something out there magically, when you write it out in paper, when you make it real, you will see proof. About 3 days later, there was something that popped up in the county she lived. It was about a police officer, somebody who was in charge of a department who had got arrested because he had been found with children's porn in his house. And I prayed and I couldn't cry until after that had already passed because this whole time I'm like, I'm freaking out because I can't deny I use these gifts for videos and like with you guys all the time. And I know stuff that I have no business knowing. Like it's transits, like it's stuff about people's lives. I'm sending out signs and it's just like me being a conduit. But that moment really like was my make or break. Like, no, you can move stuff. Things can happen with your own power. Like we have God given like real power. And that's the reason I'm about to be dedicating a lot more energy to the academy. I was doing the individual messages, feeling like that's where my energy needed to be, helping people through like a dark time like this, especially after COVID, right? Now I'm feeling like, nah, I need to be working with like the people who need to understand their gifts to be able to move stuff. Like clearly I'm being alerted that something is being planted with this 8-8 thing, which is why I just shared that to y'all. Like they're doing something with a portal, a ceremony. So, what is the outcome of this event meant to be? What is the outcome of this event meant to be? And that's crazy for them to be using the building and the building energy of the two in the spiral. But in my mind, even when I was telling y'all about Pele, Pele is sort of kind of, I guess, visually, or if you were to look at a Disney movie, would be the same thing as Tafiti in Moana, like the angry part where the heart was damaged. And I did start off with the Edomite that said it was supposed to be, or Adamite, that said it was supposed to be heart healing in some way, shape, or form. So are they coming for hearts right now? I feel like I need to shuffle again some more. Hold on. And I'm gonna take that off the bottom. Dreams was at the bottom. What's at the top? Weaver of words. Let me tell you guys, whenever I have a problem, even if I write down "thy will be done," I see a result for it. Like I can track it afterwards. I do work for my family. I do work for other people I see in need. I had to chill on the children thing because that takes a toll. Because I did realize for every positive, there's a negative. Every negative, there's a positive. You save something over here, there's a chance that there's going to be a retaliation from the things you have exercised, and they're going to do something worse somewhere else. And when it happens like that, you sometimes like, what was the point in even doing A, B, C, or D? But you go where you go where you're led, where you get messages that say, hey, we need you on this one. Because that's the only reason I can imagine that something like this will pop up. Now, usually I get these type of readings, these type of videos for the ones I'm keeping for myself. I am intrigued with why my guides or whatever, right, would have me doing this here live, because I always thought it was something I was supposed to hide that I was doing. I know there are other people who do this or have this skill to move events or to fuck up other people's rituals, other cult busters, if you will. But it's done. The work is done in the writing in the 3D. But then when you go to sleep, your astral body carries out whatever is written. Like, so you know how in that X-Men movie Quicksilver like jumps through the scenario while everybody else is moving super slow, but it's like his vibration that works for him. That's sort of how it works when you are changing events or messing up astral rituals with your body. But that would explain also this shapeshifter. So what was intended to be the outcome of this event originally? Can't make this up. A fire. A fire. I felt Pele, and that's the volcano goddess. I was talking about fire when I was talking about the dragons. Like you wouldn't be able to see up here like back in the day when they were running high from the dragons and stuff. No, just suddenly there would be a fire here, or a volcano would go off, or this building would explode. It would just be several things going on with fire, only for us to have the fire that happened in California pop up on the screen as I was going to Google. Polaris, the heroine. I'm going to read the Polaris one because that's what's getting my attention. The rest of it is saying the heroine, the hero was delayed on purpose. To protect something from being rewritten, it was frozen. But now is the time for the light bearer. But look what the light is made of. It's a heart, guys. They were trying to attack the heart of something, of some entity, some deity, through their ritual. Did they want? I wonder if these people, because when Goetia is called in, it's sort of they're jinn. They're like genies. These are entities that fly free, and then one day somebody figures out their offerings or whatever. Some of them work for offerings, like, hey, this is what I do, this is my job, like sex workers or whatever. But some of them are just minding their business, and well-versed mason or magician finds a way to pull them in and then force them in some way, shape, or form to give them something based upon whatever binding they have them in. So somebody is meant to bring life to this. The fact that all of this is going on, right? Because this enterprise of torturing humanity through the use of black magic and large rituals, I'm talking hundreds of people in different locations, because the earth has chakras. So they're using the earth chakras to pollute them with sacrifice energy on the ley lines and stuff. And then that negative energy gets into the chakras of the planet. We are naturally bound to the chakras of the planet. So as they're perverting everything, they're doing it to us as well. And it's sort of making the world go upside down. That's why this sinking ship popped up. So every day for the last month at least, and I know it's going to be in my Spotify, I've been waking up to Unleash the Dragon. Like that is the song I want to hear. And this says Phoenix. And this Polaris thing makes me think about the movie Dark Phoenix, right? So the cards I got first were these. Like, this is the results. This is what's going to happen now. What was meant to happen with some more fire stuff. So now I'm going to read this Polaris one, guys. And I think that's where I'm being led to close. This was very interesting. But I am learning to trust that other people are assisting me with things like this as well. Y'all inbox me stuff. Y'all send me memes and things to help me better understand. Like, oh, okay. Because not one person alone can hold all the pieces. That's the point of humanitarian. Humanitarian. Humanity. That's the point of humanity. That we all have a piece and we work together. If we just wanted to be one thing, God would have just stayed God and not split up and started pretending like it was other people in order to have fun. So Polaris. Something important becoming known to you that provides direction and guidance, a moment of inspiration. There's a little reading at the top. The seeker shields their eyes from the shining vision before them. You know me well as one of the brightest, she says. See how all my brothers and sisters dance around me, but I am the constant in their nightly parade. The beautiful lights swiftly disappear into the sky, eclipsed by the face of the Baroness, and the seeker awakens from the dream with a start. Their mind is flooded as thoughts fall together in a moment of inspiration. The seeker hurries to wake the others as they realize they have important information that may help them. From their observations of Polaris in the night sky when they discovered the songbird in her cage. Take what you want from that. Everybody's synchronicities are different. Polaris is also known as the North Star or Pole Star and is sometimes referred to as the fixed or guiding star. Late antiquity mariners used celestial navigation to chart their course, and the pole star sits over the North Pole, making it a reliable guide in an otherwise changing sky. When you draw the Polaris card, it represents a moment of inspiration when you see something clearly. A missing piece of information becomes known to you that connects the dots. Polaris provides direction and guidance, so a vital piece of information will become known. This may be from your subconscious or sleeping mind, which once set to work on a problem often provides you the answer. It may be from something you hear or are told. Think of Polaris as an aha moment that suddenly helps you see everything clearer and stay alert to messages coming in at the time. The card preceding it may help you to identify the source of the information or guidance. Before the Polaris card was the Phoenix. So we have another incoming ritual, guys. I feel like I'm a flight attendant. Please buckle your seats. This may affect you anywhere. It may affect people you love. We never know where one of these things is going to pop up, don't you know? Although it looks like the brunt of the work, or the problem with the work is that Stonehenge energy was involved, which has to do with the dragon, the serpent. I think we're in the year of the snake. I went to watch Ghostbusters the other day, but it's the Ghostbusters. There's a remake of the second one where they are trying to bring two humans together that embody a specific energy signature, because those two people mating together open a portal for the big energy that wants to come onto the planet. That's a whole nother thing. But part of this sort of felt like these people are forcing a prophecy. They are trying to make prophecy happen. They're trying to make fetch happen, guys. Something that was written was not actually meant to happen. They are playing around with magic and timelines to benefit them. Now, in their mind, if they can help, this is what I'm channeling. If they can help some of the darker entities that usually don't get the chance to have a body, by giving them bodies in this realm, that they will somehow be rewarded when these people come into power. This makes me think about Helter Skelter, like Charles Manson. You know, he was high off his ass, but when you're high, sometimes that psychosis is pushing you to see things that aren't there, but also things that are there that are beyond sight. He said there was a nuclear war coming and it hit, and it was going to leave all the Black people in power, and it was his job to wait underground until the nuclear fallout went away so that he could be the white man to guide them. That is what I mean by forced prophecy. Like, a nuclear war doesn't have to happen. None of the wars have to happen. But the people who are playing around with this magic are the people who are also playing around with politics. Those elites and the people that are behind the scenes. And my mind just went into something about 13 families that recruit people based upon their books and the hidden info they have. They hide in the royalty, they hide in the Federal Reserve, they hide in the Vatican, they hide in the CIA. But these people are all bloodline to the people who are waiting to make a prophecy true, that the rightful rulers of Earth, and I'm guessing this has something to do with Nephilim because I just watched the movie Mickey or Mikey 27, and they kept mentioning Nephilim like that was the name of the new colony that was being built, which I was like, why would they choose that name? The Nephilim are the fallen angels, the children of the fallen angels. And those are the ones that carry the DNA that would allow them to be able to re-enter in human bodies. So they believe that if they assist with bringing in these entities, they will be rewarded for their loyalty and not enslaved as per the rest of the plan that turns this place into a one world government. What is it called? One world order. That is not God's timeline. That does not have to happen. But the sad fact is we're feeding into it. That's for another video. Clearly, I need to go to sleep because I'm going down after I write a little bit. Y'all have a good evening. Do the same if you know this message had like a connection to your skill set.